Hello, friends and family. It's Sunday night, October 6th, and we're anchored in Biscayne Bay on Epiphany. Say hello to my first mate, Gordon. Say hello, Gordon.
Hey, how's it going?
We're sitting here at the chart plotter table on Epiphany, reviewing our hurricane preparedness plans. Hurricane Milton is headed our way from the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to cross Florida from west to east. Looks like it's going to impact Tampa. Let me show you how close we are to Tampa. As the crow flies, we're only 170 miles. So we're only 170 miles from Tampa. These hurricanes can easily be 4, 6, 800 mile diameter. Tropical force, hurricane force winds can extend hundreds of miles from the center. Depending on the track, she drifts a little more south, we could have some serious issues here. Right now, I'll show you the tracks. Expecting it to hit landfall, at least a category 3, could be a 4, could be a 5. And just a shift of 50, 100 miles could really put us in danger. So we're watching this very closely. Here's the tracks. So the tracks show it hitting Tampa, most of the spaghetti models, but you can see the size of the cone. That's the margin of error averaged out over 5 years of their predictions. So it can easily, more or less, direct hit Miami if she shifts to the south. So we're 72 hours out, and we're looking at this close. But look at the projected wind patterns of this hurricane. How it covers basically the entire state of Florida is going to be under the influence of hurricane and tropical force winds. And that is our immediate concern. Here's the wind map. So you can see the coverage of tropical winds and hurricane force winds pretty much inundating the whole state of Florida. But here's the big concern for us on Epiphany. It's where we're anchored and the exposure we have. We're in Biscayne Bay, just south of Miami. Literally 5 miles south of Miami. Coconut Grove. But this next map I'm going to show you is a wind prediction model map called Predict Wind that shows the rotation of the winds of the hurricane and how they're going to be hitting us from the south and the southwest. And I'm sorry, southeast. And that's going to be a big influence on the conditions that Epiphany's going to encounter. So take the size of this thing, the extent of the winds covering the whole state. It's only 170 miles, direct eye impact from where we're at. The direction it's going to come to us is from the southwest, because it's rotating counterclockwise, as you can see. But now look at where we're at. We're at the northeast end of Biscayne Bay. The southwest side's open to the Atlantic Ocean. So this will drive waves up the bay for 50, 60 miles, basically from Key Largo north. And 30 mile an hour winds will generate 6-foot waves easily. 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 8, 10 footers. We don't want to be out here in anything more than that because it's just going to be brutal. So let me show you that. So you can see Biscayne Bay is basically 30 miles long all the way down to Key Largo. And it's open to the ocean to the south and east, but from slightly southwest, it's open for 30 miles straight down to Key Largo. So all those winds from the south are just going to build them waves. That's called fetch. How far can the wind blow across the water to build the waves? And just from experience here in Biscayne Bay and sailing experience over the past 4 years, a fetch of 5 miles, just the width of Biscayne Bay in a thunderstorm can easily build 6-foot, 8-foot waves in 15 minutes. So this thing blowing for hours, for half a day, as this rotation comes around, is really going to generate some waves in the bay, especially from that direction, and that's our concern. So what are our choices? If the hurricane stays on its track to hit Tampa, depending on how hard it hits category size, at a Cat 3, right now they're predicting 40, 30 mile an hour winds here Wednesday. I'll show you a picture of those wind predictions right now. So that's the latest wind prediction update with the Windy app. Showing the worst we're going to get is 27 knot winds, which is about 30 miles an hour. Be a 4 to 8 hour period of that. It'll build up to that and slack back off Thursday, which is better than what it was, because it was going to be here Wednesday. So predictions are improving. With those conditions, we'll go with Plan A. Plan A is to stay anchored right here with our 73-pound Mantis. Mantis anchor. Yeah, we've got a Mantis. Stay anchored here with that. So that's us anchored 8/10 of a mile offshore. You can see in the second picture where I've circled the area we're anchored in, the lighter blue, that's 7 feet of water at low tide. I need 6.5 feet because that's my draft. So we don't hit bottom, can't get any closer to shore, but I'm exposed for 30 miles to infinite on the Atlantic Ocean from the southwest, 30 miles from the southeast, to fetch the distance wind can blow across the water and build waves. So with those wind speeds, I'm predicting 6, maybe 8 foot waves off the ocean, 6 off the bay. We can ride that out. We'll have we're on 250 feet of chain on a 73-pound Mantis anchor, buried in the sand. I've dove it, I've inspected it, it's out of sight. We're not going to move. We'll feel safe. Plan A. If the hurricane trends south, if the hurricane winds predictions get above 30 knots, if it increases to a Category 5 where we're going to get more winds, if it's going to hang around longer, we'll be more threatened because we'll be exposed to those waves and winds longer. They'll be bigger. It'll be more dangerous out here. We'll go to Plan B. I may get the order mixed up in these next videos because they were filmed the day. We went and checked out Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, Plan E, and now there's a Plan F. Basically, our move to protected anchorage where we don't have that 30 to hundreds of miles of fetch across the Atlantic Ocean where the waves can build and destroy us. That was the biggest part of us getting beached in Bimini, was huge monster 16 to 30 foot waves brushed us right up on the beach, ripped the anchor out of the bottom. So we need protection from waves more than wind. So we'll go look at those anchorages here, and I'll show you some pictures of where they're at. You can see how close shore is to where we'd be anchored. Less than a couple hundred yards in all these anchorages, exposure to waves, because land stops waves. It won't stop the wind, but it'll stop the waves, and those are our biggest threat. So let's go through these different anchorages and show you our options. Plan B. This is the closest protected harbor to where we're anchored. We're just anchored like 3 miles that way. Right out of the harbor, straight across. We're a no-name harbor, Biscayne Key. There's only 3 boats in here. So be more than comfortable bringing Epiphany in here, laying out 150 feet of chain. It's so protected. Not a lot of derelict boats. I'd probably go here before Marine Harbor, long as it's this empty. But that's what I wanted to know. Sunday is a party day in Miami. Normally this place be packed, but it's rainy, so there's not a weekend crowd here. Little dinghy dock here, you can get access to shore. So should that hurricane change course towards Miami, this would be our first option. We can be here in less than 30 minutes. So I'm loving our options. Everything looks clear. We got 4 different anchorages we can pick depending on the intensity of the storm, but I say over 50 knots, I'm the heck out of town. Plan C, Marine Stadium. Scoping out the anchorage. There's room. There's quite a few boats over on that side, but none of this is channel per se. It's open for access to get deeper up in there. We'll drive in here a little further. But as you can see on the chart, plenty of room. A little more crowded. You'd have to worry about boats dragging on you, where that wasn't much of an issue at the other places. Big party place. You can see boats over here partying, hanging out at the island and the beach. Hear the music. So let's go a little further and check out the deeper part of this anchorage. Okay, this is, you can see the front of it there, the actual Marine Stadium where they used to do the boat races through here. Much more crowded anchorage. The deeper you get in here, we'll go a little further up. Probably could anchor right out there, but it's way more crowded. So yeah, this is far end of Marine Stadium. The water ends right up there in the mangroves. It's right across from where we're parked. Get where you can see through the fence. There is room to anchor. So this is now my first choice because it's only 3 miles away from where we're anchored now. Totally protected. Basically 360 degrees from wave action. Nothing you can do about the winds, but if Epiphany's got to move, this is where we're moving to. So far, let's go look at Plan B, No Name Harbor. It's a pirate ship! Giving tours, but here we're at the San Marco anchorage. We'd have to come through this bridge. It opens on an hour and a half hour, 7 to 7. After 7, it opens on demand. We can get underneath these bridges. They're 65 feet. There's one railroad bridge there that's usually open. It's left open unless there's a train coming. You see the cruise terminal. The anchorages in here at San Marco are wide open. The mooring fields are full, but this is Plan C, and I would take this no problem before Plan D, because Plan D is not that far, but I need the tide to cooperate to get underneath the Tuttle Bridge. You can see the Tuttle Bridge is there. It's only 56 feet. And I'd want to do that at low tide, which would be 4 in the morning or so, 5 in the morning, where I can hit this anytime, day or night. Tide's not a concern, and have a protected anchorage. Hurricane Milton is bearing down on the west coast of Florida, going across the state, potentially impact Miami, where we're at, Biscayne Bay. We're not in a very protected anchorage there. If we see winds going to exceed 30 knots to 50 knots, we're going to seek shelter in a more protected anchorage. That's what we're doing today. We're scoping anchorages. This is the anchorage on the north side of the Harriet Tuttle Causeway. You can see the bridge, 56 feet clearance. We'd have to catch it at low tide. but wide open anchorage, no boats in it. We let out hundreds of feet of chain and ride her out. I'll stay here in an anchorage like this, winds up 50 knots. It's going to be more than 50 knots, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. But this is plan D. We're going to go look at plan B, C. Also, plan A is to stay where we're at, winds up to 30 knots. I feel comfortable riding that out. But let's go look at 2 more protected anchorages. Just want to make sure that it's not packed full of boats and I got room to get in and let out some chain. This is plan E. Evacuate! Pull anchor and head west to the Bahamas or southwest to Dominican Republic. Biscayne Key Lighthouse right at the point. You can see Stiltsville out there. Those are the stilt houses. We'd come out of the channel just off the point here, around the lighthouse, and out into the Atlantic Ocean, and boogie, boogie, boogie. South and southwest. At best speed to get out of the Miami area and stay out of range of the hurricane. So worst comes to worst, this is where we're going. That way! But we'll see what the hurricane track does. We got a plan A, B, C, D, and E. So those are our plans. Plan A, B, C, D, evacuate. We'll top off fuel jugs in the morning. The boat's been thoroughly checked. Engine's ready to go, bottom's clean. And if we need to evacuate, it's 6-7 miles to open ocean and sail south and west as hard and fast as we can at 7 knots under motor sail, 7.5 knots. Puts us 150 miles easy a day away from the danger. So I can't outrun the hurricane. If it speeds up, it's only moving 5 miles an hour now, I can outrun it. But it's due to pick up speed, but we can get out of its way by moving 90 degrees perpendicular to it. So these are our plans. Things change on short notice. I can be in sheltered harbor in less than an hour. Over at No Name Key, it's 4 miles away. I can be in the Marine Stadium in an hour. 1 bridge to go under. I can be in the Marco Island anchorage area. I've got 2 bridges to open, 3 to go under. The 4th anchorage, D, is a great anchorage too, but I need more time. I got to time that with the tide to get under the bridge because it's only 56 feet and I'm 55 feet tall. So these are our options. These are what we're looking at. We're checking the updates every 6 hours. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers, but don't worry about us. We'll let you know. That's rule number 7. If Captain Tiny isn't worried, no need for you to be worried. But if you see me evoke rule number 7, then be worried. But hopefully this is all going to work out, and we'll keep you posted.